Casio MTP-1314L-7AV 5-year review. Still worth it?
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Frugal Watchbox channel, your go-to place for affordable timekeeping and honest, long-term reviews. Today, we're talking about a watch that's been with me through thick and thin, rain and shine, the Casio MTP-1314L-7AV. Yep, this one's been in my collection for 5 solid years. It's time for a long overdue deep dive. If you're curious about how it all began, you can check out the unboxing video. Link's right up there. Spoiler alert, I was way too excited about 50 meters of water resistance. So why did I originally buy this watch? Simple, 50 meters of water resistance, which for a budget-friendly analog watch was a pretty big deal to me back then. That meant I could wash my hands, get caught in the rain, and not panic like I just dropped a Rolex into a swimming pool. Now, when I first got it, it came with a genuine brown leather band. It looked great, but let's be honest, leather and water don't exactly get along. After about 5 years of regular wear and maybe a few accidental splashes, that leather strap finally gave up on me. It snapped. Farewell, old friend, you served well. But did I give up on the watch? Of course not. I gave it a second life. I replaced the leather strap with a silver-tone unbranded steel mesh bracelet from China. Yeah, it's cheap, but surprisingly comfy, and it pairs well with the silver-tone case and bezel. Call it an upgrade with character. Let's talk about size for a second. This is a 44.9mm case, which is kind of massive for my slender 6.5-inch wrist. On paper, it sounds like a dinner plate, but surprisingly, it still looks great. Or maybe I've just gotten used to its bold personality. Either way, I still love it. For a few years, this was my daily driver. But then tragedy struck. The leather band snapped, and I kind of tossed the watch into my drawer for a while. And by a while, I mean months. To make things worse, the battery eventually died, adding insult to injury. Fast forward to about a month ago, I finally decided to bring it back to life. I ordered a SR626SW battery and that budget steel mesh bracelet. With a steady hand and a mini screwdriver, I swapped both out myself. It's amazing what a $2 battery and a $3 strap can do. The Casio is back and ticking like new. Now, it's back on rotation. I wear it around twice a week, and honestly, it still looks clean, classic, and reliable. For a 5-year-old watch under $50, this Casio is punching well above its weight class. So, if you're looking for a durable, stylish, budget-friendly watch that won't die the first time it rains, or at least not for 5 years, the MTP-1314L-7AV is still a solid choice.
Case dimensions.
For those of you who are new to the Casio MTP-1314L-7AV, let's break down the numbers. Because yes, size does matter, especially when it comes to watches. First up, the case size is a bold 44.9mm. Yep, this one doesn't hide under a cuff. It shows up and lets everyone know it's on your wrist. The lug-to-lug measurement is approximately 50mm, so it wears slightly longer on the wrist, but not uncomfortably so. The thickness? Just about 9.4mm. It's surprisingly slim for something that looks this large. You won't feel like you're carrying a hockey puck around. The lug width is around 22mm, which is awesome if you love customizing. There's a huge selection of aftermarket watch bands and bracelets out there. From NATO to leather to stainless mesh, go wild. As for weight, it clocks in at roughly 64 grams with the original leather strap. That means it's light enough for daily wear, but still has enough wrist presence to not feel like a toy. All in all, the MTP-1314 walks that fine line between oversized style and comfortable wearability. It's a great entry point if you're into big case watches that don't feel like a burden.
Five-year wear and tear check. Battle scars and survivors.
Alright, let's talk about how this Casio MTP-1314 has held up after 5 years of real-world use. Spoiler, it's seen some things. Starting with the mineral crystal, It's got a few minor scratches, nothing crazy, but enough to remind me it's lived through daily wear, not a museum display. And hey, it's not sapphire, so that's expected for a budget-friendly watch. The iron-plated bezel and case? Yeah, they've got more noticeable scratches. Call it character. These marks are basically the watch's war medals from 5 years of grocery bags, table edges, and maybe a few unintentional door frame smacks. The protected crown, though, still solid. No wobble, no issues, it still functions perfectly. Credit to Casio for that bit of engineering. As I mentioned earlier, the original brown leather strap sadly didn't survive. Thanks to some water damage, aka I forgot to take it off before washing my hands a few too many times. It eventually snapped. I replaced it with a cheap $3 Chinese mesh bracelet. Yeah, I know, it's unbranded, and it's suspiciously affordable. But honestly, it works, for now. The bracelet itself has a no-clasp design. Instead, it uses a magnetic end. You basically pull it tight and attach the magnet anywhere along the mesh to get a snug fit. Super easy, super adjustable. I've seen this kind of design before, and I gotta admit, it's simple and functional. But how long will it last? That's the million-dollar question. Or in this case, the $3 question. One small con. This kind of mesh bracelet is a certified hair eater. If you've got wrist hair, prepare for the occasional ouch moment. Now let's flip it over and check the back. The stainless steel case back has definitely earned some scratches over the years. Still, all the engraved imprints are perfectly readable. On the outer ring, you've got the model number, module number, water-resistant 5-bar, and stainless steel back, still sharp and clear. In the center, that classic bold Casio logo, Japan movement, and made in China, all still there, loud and proud. For a watch under $50, this kind of long-term durability is impressive. It's not perfect, but it's been through 5 years of daily life, and it's still ticking without complaint. Not bad for something that costs less than a tank of gas.
Dial design. Clean, classy, and still going strong.
Now let's take a closer look at the dial, because after 5 years, this is where you'll really see whether a watch holds up or gives up. First off, the dial is still impressively clear. No smudges, no faded paint, no cloudy areas. The hands, hour markers, and date window all look just as crisp as the day I unboxed it. That's impressive for a watch that's been through everyday wear and more than a few accidental wrist bumps. The dial color is a matte Weiger silver, depending on how the light hits it. Either way, it offers great legibility and doesn't glare under the sun, which is always a plus. Look closely and you'll notice a subtle vertical brush or groove pattern across the dial. It's not flashy, but it adds just enough texture to keep things visually interesting. Kind of like pinstripes on a sharp suit, understated but classy. Our markers. You get a combo layout here. Big, bold Arabic numerals at the 12, 3, 6, and 9 positions, which makes it super easy to read at a glance. The rest of the hours are marked by simple rectangular batons, clean, minimal, and very balanced. The whole thing screams function-first design without looking boring. Around the outer edge is a clear and precise printed minute-second track. This is perfect for anyone who actually uses their watch to tell time. Imagine that. It helps with accurate time reading, down to the second. The hour and minutes hands are bold, sword style, and finish in silver with luminous inserts at the tips. They're well proportioned too. The minutes hand nearly touches the minutes track, which makes reading time a breeze. The seconds hand adds a bit of flair. It's a slender needle design, part silver and part red. That red tip stretches all the way to the outer track, giving it a sharp, precise feel. Bonus, it helps you spot it instantly when you glance down. The date display sits at the 3 o'clock position, bordered in black for a nice pop of contrast. The numerals inside are bold and well-centered, which, believe me, isn't always the case with budget watches. No off-center printing here. The classic Casio logo is printed just below the 12 o'clock position, clean and well-aligned. Down near 6 o'clock, you'll see Water Resist 5OM, which reminds you that yes, it can take on some water, just not a deep-sea dive. At the very bottom is the small text, Japan Movement, a nice touch that tells you the movement is Japanese, even if the rest of the watch was assembled elsewhere. Hi, China! The dial is a masterclass in balance and legibility. Everything is spaced out perfectly, nothing feels cramped, and it blends utilitarian function with a clean aesthetic that works for both casual and semi-formal wear. It's a no-fuss, everyday dial that doesn't try to do too much, but what it does well. In short, after 5 years, the Casio MTP-1314's dial still looks sharp and performs just as well. If you're after an affordable men's watch with a timeless design, this one deserves a spot on your shortlist.
Lume, minimal but surprisingly resilient.
Here's a fun surprise. The Lume still works. Yep, even after 5 years, the luminous material on the hands is still hanging in there. That said, only the hour and minutes hands have Lume, and just at the tips. There's no Lume on the dial markers or the seconds hand, so it's not going to light up like a G-Shock in a dark cave. But for quick time checks in low light, it still does the job. Think of it as low-key glow in the dark, not tactical night vision.
Water resistance. Still holding strong at 50 meters.
Now, for a budget analog watch, maintaining water resistance after 5 years and a battery change is kind of a big deal. But good news, this 50-meter water resistance rating still holds up. I tested it under running tap water and even gave it a quick dunk in the sink for a few minutes. No fogging, no moisture, no drama. It passed like a champ. This tells me that Casio did a great job with the case sealing and gasket design, even though this isn't a screw-down crown model. For regular daily use like hand washing, rain, or dishwashing, it's more than enough.
Final verdict. Reliable, practical, and worth every penny.
So, after 5 years with the Casio MTP-1314L-7AV, here's my honest take. If you're looking for a reliable, budget-friendly men's watch that can handle daily wear, the occasional splash, and still look good doing it, this watch is absolutely worth considering. The dial remains clean, highly legible, and still looks fresh. The case has some scratches, sure, but nothing out of the ordinary for a watch in this price range. The movement is still running strong, especially after a DIY battery change. The new strap may be cheap, but the overall functionality hasn't been compromised. Bottom line, the MTP-1314 offers great value for money. It's not flashy, but it's dependable, like that friend who always shows up on time, even if they're wearing budget shoes. If you want an affordable, low-maintenance quartz watch that holds up well over time, this one delivers.
And that wraps up this 5-year review of the Casio MTP-1314. If you've got one of these yourself, I'd love to hear how it's holding up. Drop a comment below. And if you found this video helpful, entertaining, or just enjoyed seeing a watch survive 5 years of life, please consider subscribing, liking the video, and sharing it with your fellow budget watch fans. It really helps support the channel and keeps this small community growing. If you'd like to support us, consider buying any merchandise through the Amazon affiliate link below, or even grabbing me a coffee over at Buy Me a Coffee, links down there too. Thanks again for watching the Frugal Watchbox channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Until then, stay frugal, stay stylish.